Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm going to officially call us to order. Oh, and if you can share on the annual reports with someone who's close to you in either proximity or relationship, then that would be great. Our copier was stressed on toner this week. So we are going to start with an opening prayer from our junior warden, David Stiglitz.
Good morning. Good morning. Let us pray. God of relationship, we gather this morning in gratitude for one another and for our common life at St. Albans. God of life, in whom we live and move and have our being, we thank you for the abundance of goodness, beauty, and truth that springs from you unceasingly. God of love, help us to love you and to love one another as Christ loves us. May we be a community of gratitude, generosity, and love. Be present with us as we celebrate a year past and look forward in faith and hope into this new year just begun. May your will be done in our lives and in this parish. Amen. Amen.
During our last 2 years in high school, my dear friend Rachel and I were obsessed with the music of Fiona Apple, Dave Matthews Band, and Godspell. To be fair, we were into a great deal of musicals, from the ones that we were performing in to whatever the latest Broadway sensation was, but the music of Godspell stuck with me. To this day, if I am feeling drowsy while driving, then playing Godspell is exactly the shot of adrenaline I need. It goes beyond its catchy music. Despite its irreverence, this musical digs deep into biblical text, such as in my favorite of its songs, Light of the World, which is a clear reference to Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. So I've used that song to frame today's address. In the past few years, St. Albans has seen some tough times. Some have been unique to us here. Some have been shared with our neighbors and the world at large. In 2020, our parish community suffered loss and isolation. In 2021, we showed a true resilience and regrowth. And in 2022, I believe we were able to truly let our light shine again. We are the light of the world. We are called to shine out in a world of darkness and to not hide or dim that light. In the past few years, I know that I sometimes forgot what that meant. This past year at St. Albans, I have seen our community stretching to spread that light. Some of it has been lessening of COVID restrictions. We can gather together and eat together again. We welcomed back a coffee hour. And some of that has come through opening our space to concerts, celebrations, art shows, and through the continued development of our tremendous music ministry now led by Dr. Prentice Van Royen. Another beacon of this light is our indefatigable parish administrator, Rebecca Obenhaus. I know most of you in this congregation have been touched by her grace. We are the salt of the earth. Salt may feel to us like a humble ingredient, but imagine life without that flavor. So too are we called to serve in humility, as we do through our partnerships, active partnerships, with Greater Portland Family Promise, St. Elizabeth's, Preble Street, Haiti, and more. Through these acts of service and connection, we fulfill Jesus' call to the work of mercy and justice in this world. We could not have found a better partner in this work than our dear deacon, George. We also see this through the ministry to our children and youth that we see through the work of Debbie Fisher and countless other volunteers. This work is also supported by the ministries of our vestry, finance committee, and building and grounds committee, who put in countless hours to keep us running smoothly, to keep the salt from losing its flavor, if you will allow me to extend the metaphor. We are the city of God. We are a beacon on a hill prepared to shine God's light to the people around us. We have welcomed many new faces into our midst, thanks in no small part to the continued leadership of Father Josh. We have also seen increased involvement in adult formation and learning about social justice in our church, led by Reverend Claudia and Deacon George. The vestry itself has embarked on shared work to better understand social justice in our church as we engage in becoming a beloved community. There is no way that I can mention every good work that has occurred in our church community this year. To all of those who have contributed to our church community in ways that are seen and sometimes unseen, thank you. The annual report that you hold in your hands includes details from so many of our ministries. To those leaders, thank you. I extend my deepest gratitude, and I hope you will read through the successes and that you will thank those leaders for their service. I look forward to seeing what 2023 has to bring to St. Albans as we continue to shine our light within our community and far beyond. We're going to move to the year in pictures, and then we will get to our couple of business items.
I can be a mountain when you're feeling valley low. I can be a street light showing you the way home. You can hold my hand when you need to let go. I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we are able, and bring this back together when the day is done. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seed. Plant a little happiness, let the roots run deep. If it's love that we give, then it's love that we breathe. If we want a garden, we're gonna have to sow the seed. Yeah, I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we are able, and bring this back together when the day is done. The door is always open, your picture's on my wall. Everyone's a little broken, everyone belongs. Yeah, everyone belongs. I want a house with a crowded table and a place by the fire for everyone. Let us take on the world while we are able, and bring this back together when the day is done. And bring this back together when the day is done. Bring me your weak, your weary. Bring me your strange and cold. I come for hope and healing, that you won't feel alone. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up, raise up. I have told you that I am the way and the truth and the life. I'm justice, I'm all that is right. Carry on now, carry on. Carry on now. And there's a galaxy behind your eyelids, and there's a war in your house, and there's a meaning that is far beyond us, and there's courage in doubt. So raise up, raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up. So raise up, raise up, raise up. I have told you that I am the way and the truth and the life. I'm justice, I'm all that is right. Carry on now, carry on. Carry on now.
It was a good year. And we have a lot to look forward to in 2023 as well. So our next couple business items will be to approve those things. David Stankiewicz is going to do our report from the nominating committee.
Okay, so the nominating committee met on December 6th, and let me tell you a tiny bit about this process. The nominating committee consists of Father Josh, the wardens, the treasurer, Dwayne Klein, the outgoing vestry members this year, Maura McDonald and Tom Sides, and then two at-large members from the congregation. This year it was Jason Burks and Connie Babcock. So what we did was discuss the many, many names that were put forward in the nominating process. We spent well over an hour talking about each person and the strengths they might bring to the various positions. And at the end of that time, we had anonymous ranked choice voting, which was pretty exciting. And we got it right, and it worked, and there was a clear consensus for both vestry and convention delegates right off the bat. So that's how the process works. I just want to say, it's amazing how many people want to serve here and to participate, and how gifted and blessed we really are as a congregation. So thank you for that. And our leadership slate, Mary Beth and myself have agreed to serve one more year in our position as senior and junior warden. And Mary Beth. I was not fishing for applause here. And our candidates for vestry, Chris Calloway, Elise Seavey, and David Wakeland. David was on serving the rest of Mary Beth's term just 1 year, so he's being put up now for a 3-year term. Convention delegates, Chris Calloway, Rebecca Elliott, Ed Ray, Meredith Tipton, and Sheila Zimmerman. And now we get to vote. So I'll move that we accept the 2023 leadership slate.
Second.
All right.
I saw Chris Pizzula.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone want to abstain? Okay, it passes.
All right, next up, our assistant treasurer, Ed Ray, is going to share with us the budget presentation for our 2023 budget. If there's anything you want to follow along with, you'll see that there's some handouts at the back of that bulletin. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, the words you never want to hear in a presentation are, I'll keep this brief. But I will try to keep this brief. So first of all, I want to give kudos to our treasurer, Dwayne Klein. Dwayne's in New Zealand now. But Dwayne, you know, he's been managing a very complicated few years of cash flow and asset management for both the capital campaign and the regular operations of the church. That's, you know, really a behind-the-scenes thing, but it's not always easy. And also trying to present it to you all isn't always easy. But he would want me to remind you that we still have a $150,000 small business loan, which we've just started making payments on. We'll be able to pay off a substantial portion of that loan as early as soon as the capital campaign pledges are paid off. We also have used a $200,000 loan from the endowment for the capital campaign cash flow, and $100,000 of that has already been paid back to the endowment due to fulfillment of campaign pledges. The bottom line is that our balance sheet, our assets and our liabilities are healthy. In Dwayne's report, I was also pointing out, and the report is in your handout, that we have an active finance committee to help the treasurer make recommendations to the vestry. This is, I guess, about the second full year of having an active finance committee. It's been something that I think has been a long time coming, and it's great to have it. And with Josh's assistance, we have implemented a yearly audit process, alternating in-house audits and audits swiped with another SWAT with another church. Maybe we'll swipe them too. Plus a commitment to do a full audit conducted by a professional audit firm every 5 years. Many thanks to Jeff Sedlak for conducting the first in-house audit review in 2022. Thank you, Jeff. Now I'd like to move on to the budget. The short and the sweet of last year's budget, the 2022 budget, is that revenues were higher than we had anticipated and expenses were lower. The details are in the package. The budget that you're going to be asked to affirm today has no new programs or staff or clergy. It starts with last year's actual. It annualizes existing personnel costs, gives clergy and staff a 5% raise, includes actual cost increases for utilities, insurance, other items, and estimates where we don't know the actuals, and estimates that the 2023 total pledge income will be $458,000, a 21% increase. I'll get back to that in just a moment. And it applies all of the available operating reserve and unused portion of the SBA loan, plus a small transfer of funds from the CSA Transmission Fund to finance the budget. Let me just say a word about this CAA Capital Campaign Transition Fund. There's about $16,000 in that fund, and frankly, even since we put this budget together, with the way pledges have been coming in, continue to come in and such, I don't think we're going to need to tap that fund. But that fund is available if things in some areas don't go the way we anticipate that they will. So that's what we will do. If we have to, we'll tap that fund to make it all work. So you're going to be asked to affirm the budget that's in your package. let me just remind you of what we all together have been able to do in the last 2 years. In 2021, at the low point of the pandemic, actual pledge contributions were $298,000. Last year, in 2022, pledge contributions increased 27% to $380,000. Non-pledge contributions were $72,000, up 47% from 2021.
Yay.
This year's budget includes, as I said before, $458,000 for total pledge contributions, up another 21%. What's the bottom line of all this? The bottom line is you make it all possible. Whether you were new to St. Albans this year, whether you were able to increase your financial support, whether you were able to maintain your financial support, or whether you had to dial back your financial support, but were still able to provide support, you made this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ed. So I also want to mention that in addition to you all helping to make this happen, our finance committee and the leadership of our stewardship ministry led by Sarah Merrill and Nancy Pizzullo were also incredibly key in making this happen and helping bring us to a more stable financial spot. So thank you all. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to affirm the 2023 budget as presented by Ed Ray. Is there a second? I saw Dave Wakeland. He raised his hand, and I was a teacher, so I appreciate that. Any discussion before we take a vote? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you. That's our business item. Thank you, Ed. So we'd like to recognize our outgoing vestry members and convention delegates and thank them for their service to our church, either for their 3-year term or for their service representing our church at the diocesan convention. So if you could stand in place as I call your name, and we will all recognize you with a round of applause. And then I do have a few tokens of appreciation, so come check in with me after we adjourn. So our outgoing vestry members who just served a 3-year term are Maura McDonald and Tom Sides. And the convention delegates that served us, I'm going on memory, were Ed Ray and Chris Calloway and Ruth Dodge and Judy Sides and Jen Charlie. So thank you to those guys. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your leadership. That's it. We got through our business items. I think Josh. Hey, David Wakeland.
I'm an incoming new vestry member, but we're fairly close to 50 years of membership in this parish. And over the years, I've had occasion on numerous times to get up and say, we ought to feel good about ourselves. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Well, on page 27, it shows that our pledge income for 21 was $298, and we're now up very close to $460, and that's a 53% increase in pledging in essentially a little over a year, 2 years. And that means that we are returning to full health. And one of my goals on getting involved with the vestry, and the reason I've wanted to continue, is because we want to get to the place where pledging is covering all of the costs that we have, and that the operating side of the budget is being taken care of. But you all ought to feel tremendous about what we have done over the last X number of years, the organ and the new ministry, many new ministries, and I just wanted to say congratulations to all of us. Let's keep up the good work. Thank you.
Is behind the scenes working diligently with deposits and ledgers and balance sheets and phone calls and follow-up, and none of it would be happening if you weren't doing what you were doing in your office at home.
Josh, would you like to end us with a blessing?
Before I bless, I have an announcement. And that is, the town of Cape Elizabeth is stepping up to put on an event for our guests from Greater Portland Family Promise next Sunday from 12 to 3. We're going to meet over at the Cape Community Services and get the fire trucks out, and hamburgers and hot dogs, and a movie in Portuguese with English subtitles. This is the Chief of Police in Cape Elizabeth who's putting this on, and we're all invited. We just need to have a head count so that we can basically have enough food. So if you could be in touch with Debbie Fisher by Thursday, if you or your family or your kids or your grandma or anybody wants to go.
And your friends. We really want to find
And what's really, really inspiring about this is that the Chief of Police sees this as an opportunity to build goodwill. And is completely coming at this from an altruistic place of trying to make sure that these people know that they're not scared people, that they're here to help. And so if you want to come and be part of that, you can. All right. Well, I am full. Not of food. I'm full of life and love and hope and gratitude for all that's been done and said, for Mary Beth, for David, for everybody who's already been mentioned and thanked. And I second all of it. And I just feel like the luckiest priest in the world that I got to come here. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful place. And I hope you'll read all of the reports that were written in the annual report. Things come to more depth and get an even broader scope of all we've done that we didn't even talk about today. And so I just want to end us with a prayer, or is it a blessing? Which one am I supposed to do? I'm going to end with the blessing, because we didn't hear a lot about Celtic Eventide today, which is a whole other amazing ministry of this parish. So I'm going to end with the blessing that we do at Celtic Eventide. Go where your best prayers take you. Unclench the fists of your spirit and take it easy. Breathe deep with a glad air and live one day at a time. Know that you are precious and learn to trust. And the blessing of God, the one who incarnates, the one who instigates, and the one who inspires us, be with you this day and always. Amen. Amen. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thank you.